Hi, this is Graham Jeacocke, bringing you another wonderful video for my lovely friends who call themselves atheists. Now, this is going to be talking about Arthur Miller's The Salem Witch Trials. Well, not about it, about the subject generally, but I'm using that as a reference point. Now, I've read it before, but it's very murky what was in it. But the argument that atheists put is the horrific pain that was caused by purists, Christians, that murdered, or whatever word you want to, tortured, I don't know, any word can be used to describe what they did. Now, I find that if you ever judge something in the world, you need to have perspective on something. And well, time and time again, reading the Bible gives me a new perspective. Now, the main issue that atheists have is that Christians or believers hurt other people for being something because it's in the Bible. But this is the thing. You can't tell another person how to interpret the Bible. You can, or any book. It's just like reading novels. People interpret differently because people have different experiences. People's brains are wired differently. That's not justification, that's just common sense. But it is a problem that atheists don't want to confront. You see, if a person reads the Bible in a certain way, right? Well, it's not so much a certain way, it's how that individual thinks. You see, different things can mean different things to people, okay? Now, if a Christian, you see, a Christian can be very strict, or a Christian can be very relaxed about how to do things. Now, that's not Christianity itself. That is being human. You see, being human plus reading a book causes an action. It's not a human plus reading the Bible or being a Christian causes a bad action. It's being human, and it's what's the word? What's the word? It's incident. No. They just happen to be a Christian. That's the problem. A person who happens to be very strict in their way of thinking, okay? And they read the Bible and they look at passages and they say, I've got to do that. That's not the fault of Christianity. That's not the fault of the human being. That's the fault of not understanding who we are before we act. You see, We look at an animal hurting another animal, and we look at the animal and judge the animal and talk about it. But very rarely do humans judge themselves. I like to judge myself. You know, it might be a bit hard to imagine, but I judge myself a fair bit. That's why I'm very strict in what I choose to do in life. I may do things that are not good, but I don't have that relaxed freedom to do things. That's, you see, back to Arthur Miller's Salem witch trials. Okay, you see, a witch, okay, a human being, identifies with being a witch. She says, I'm a witch, I'm a witch, I'm going to tell everybody I'm a witch. Now, first of all, that person took the responsibility to call themselves a witch. Okay, there's an expression, blood on your head. I think that's the correct expression. I'm sure you know what I mean. And it's illustrated quite well with a scene from the Old Testament. King Saul had just died, and his entire family, and a man was bringing news to King David, King Saul's successor. Now, this man lied about the situation, okay, and he admitted that he had killed King Saul. Now, this man ended up dead because basically he killed the Lord's anointed king. You know, and it's witches. I'm sorry for the witches who died a horrible death, okay? But at the same time, if you're going to pass yourself, if you know that a group of people have a certain way of looking at things and they're going to follow it, even though you say it's not, that we shouldn't follow that, people will follow it. That's what it's like if there's a thug on the street, okay, and you run into a thug, okay, do you start swearing at the thug? No, because you know that looking at a thug, you'll know it might not end good for you. Now, once again, it could be just the education of people at this time that people did what they chose to do. But the other point, why do atheists assume that Christians at that time did not talk to the people who were purists to say, stop, this is wrong? Just because they weren't successful doesn't mean those people existed. I think that's all I have to say. Not a lot, but it's important to say whatever, because there's people need to look at things from a different perspective. Yeah, I'll end it there. Thanks. Enjoy yourselves.